Hi, T-Spot community. Laura Brumbaugh back with you on another Monday afternoon for Virtuality. It is so nice to be back and to spend a little bit of time with you all again. Today, it is a little gray and rainy here in Indiana, and I heard it was a little chilly in Colorado yesterday too. I'm not sure if you all are still dealing with that weather. So I thought it might be a nice idea to try a warm latte drink for you. We've been showing you a lot of cold brews, a lot of iced teas that have been great for the summer. And now we're in August. Things might start to cool down here in the next month or two. And so even if it's not the perfect weather for this drink for you today, keep it in your arsenal for a gray, rainy day when that does strike you wherever you are in the country. I'm sure this will be both warming and healing for you. So the drink that I would like to show you is a brown sugar and rosemary Earl of Grey latte. I was walking out in my garden and my rosemary bush is absolutely exploding out there. And I love cooking with rosemary, but I'm not able to use all of the plant right now. And so I was wondering if there would be any tea applications for it. So I started playing around with this recipe a little bit, and it's actually quite tasty. So I hope that you enjoy, and I will walk you through step by step as I make this drink for you. So I'm going to tilt this down a little bit so that you can hopefully see my workspace. Move you all down. And again, just talk you through as best I can everything that we're doing. So, hold on, get your little, I see Jessica and Anna, good to see you guys. I'm gonna try to get you out of the way, there we go, so I can see the whole screen. So, I've got some rosemary that I just went and picked off my plant outside and rinsed off. So we'll start with this, and actually, before we even do that, I'm gonna get my water boiling. So here's my tea kettle, and I'll just start that, so that's getting ready to go. And while we're doing that, I've got this little teapot here. The T-Spot short stack teapot would be a perfect size for this. I don't have one here, but that would be a great thing to use. So I'm just going to put a couple scoops of our T-Spot Earl of Grey tea in this teapot here. And I will say, I don't have any on hand, but I think the T-Spot Lady Lavender tea would be really exceptional in this drink as well. So go ahead and try that out if you have that on hand, or place an order to try that out with this recipe, because I think that would be really tasty. So my water is already preheated, so I'm going to pour the hot water right into this teapot here so we get that steeping right away. Then we'll get back to our rosemary. Okay. Alexa, set a timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, starting now.
Awesome, okay, so that's going. If you're not familiar with how to strip rosemary, what you do is just hold the top of the plant here. Oops, had 2 of them there. And then you basically just pull down on this middle stalk and the leaves will come off. So I'll show you how that works, hopefully. There we go. So then you're just left with the stalk, and then these are the leaves that we want in our simple syrup that we're going to make. And then I'll just pick these off the top because those are just the leaves. And we'll do that with the next couple bunches. So just stripping the leaves right off of the stalk, so we're left with just leaves and not that more woody center part of the shoot. And same thing, there we go. So the recipe for this simple syrup that we're going to put in this latte, you can adjust based on your needs. The one that I'll make is I'll do a 1/2 cup brown sugar, a 1/2 cup of water, and then 1 teaspoon of chopped rosemary. But you could certainly double that, and it keeps really well in the fridge so that you can make one of these up whenever the mood strikes. I have some leftovers from testing the recipe, so I'm just gonna do that 1/2 cup, 1/2 cup, but you do whatever works for you. So I'll move this over, oh, nope, there we go. Move this over this way, and we're just gonna chop up this rosemary, just a rough chop. It doesn't need to be anything super fancy. Just so that it gets a little bit more surface area, and we get a little bit more of that rosemary flavor as we start this infusion in the simple syrup. There we go. Okay, so then we'll go over to this pot. Yep, you can see that, perfect. And like I said, we'll do a 1/2 cup of brown sugar in here. So I'll measure that out first. See where we're at and just kind of push it down. It's a 1/2 cup packed brown sugar. And we're right there. There we are. We can dump that in our little saucepan. And then a 1/2 cup water. So whatever you do, just make sure it's a 1-to-1 ratio of brown sugar to water. However you'd like to modify the recipe. And I'll pour that in here as well. And I will turn this on high. And then we'll measure out our rosemary. I bet I have about a teaspoon. It's probably not that important, but we'll see kind of where we're at. Pretty close. Yeah, I'll just dump all of this in here. There we go. And in the pot it goes. And then get a little wooden spoon and stir all of this up as it starts to cook away. Making sure that if there are any clumps in the brown sugar, that you're getting those broken up and incorporated. And then the heat will do the rest. And like I said, I put this saucepan on the stove at high, so we're just trying to get it to a boil, and then we'll pull it. Awesome, so that is cooking. The next thing that we're going to do is, oh, you know what, actually, one extra thing. I'm gonna put a little dash of vanilla into the simple syrup as well. Maybe just a 1/2 teaspoon or so, just to kind of round out those flavors. So once more, what's gone in here is a 1/2 cup of brown sugar, a 1/2 cup of water, 1 teaspoon of chopped rosemary, and then about a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract is what's in here. And then we've got our Earl Grey tea brewing in this little teapot here. So the next component that we need to deal with is our milk. So I've got regular, just grass-fed cow's milk. You can use milk alternatives. I do find that the cow's milk froths up better than a lot of the other milk alternatives that I've found, but if you have something that you like, feel free to use that. And I have a milk frother myself. If you don't have one of those, just throw another saucepan or even a skillet on the stove and put your milk in there, warm it up that way, and you can even whisk it with a hand whisk to get it nice and frothy. So for now, I will dump a little bit of milk into my milk frother. Put this lid on here and then get this guy started over here. Alexa, stop. So it sounds like our tea is done steeping. And I will now just remove the little infuser from here. And we'll go over here and check on our simple syrup. It's not quite boiling yet, so we'll just give that a little bit more time. What's going to happen here is the sugar and the water need to turn into a syrup. So if, as you're moving it around, you still see little bits of crystals or little globs of sugar, then it's not done yet, because we need that all to be a really nice, consistent mixture in there. So you just keep stirring that, keep heating it. The heat will help a lot with that. And keep an eye on that right there. I'm gonna see, I got all of your comments off to the side if there's any questions yet. Nope, doesn't look like it. Excellent. So we're all hanging in here. And now this is starting to bubble. Wonderful. We'll give that just another second. I wish you all could smell this. It smells so yummy. So if you've got rosemary out in your garden, definitely give this one a try. It just is so soothing to have that scent, I think, especially mixed with the brown sugar. It's really, really yummy. All right, I'm gonna turn that off. And what we're going to do next is strain the simple syrup into this bowl here. So I've just got a big strainer that I'm putting over the top, and I'm going to dump. Make sure this is a heat-safe bowl. I have a Pyrex bowl, so hopefully it will not crack on me when I pour this in here, but do be careful pouring hot liquids into glass. So I'll cool this off for just a second. And then, oh, and I'll let you all see maybe what that's looking like with the different rosemary in there, and you can see that the sugar's been really nicely incorporated into the water, making a wonderful syrup. So we'll dump that in here. And then we've got our rosemary leaves we can put over to the side. Awesome, so I think we've got all of our different components ready to go, and now we can start assembling the actual drink. Moving your comments over to the side again, so, okay, good, you can see. So what I like to start with is the syrup before we even put the tea in, so we make sure that gets nice and incorporated. You can start with maybe a couple scoops. I like 3, it's a little bit sweeter, so you can just play around with that to your taste. And this is a tablespoon, or a teaspoon, sorry. And then we pour our lovely Earl of Grey tea in. Almost fill this up. Perfect. And then just give it a little stir. The syrup should have incorporated really nicely with the tea, but just in case, so we make sure we get that all throughout the tea. And you can see what a beautiful color that's steeping up to be. And now for our finishing touches, we've got our frothed milk here. So I'll pour a little in, and then I'll be sure to get some of the foam so it's nice and pretty on top. Perfect. And now we'll just add a couple of garnishes. So I like to put a little bit of the brown sugar on the top of the foam. I think it just is a really pretty look. And I think it also gives the consumer a little hint of what is to come. So we'll put that there. And then a beautiful sprig of big rosemary here. Go right in the top. And voila, we've got a beautiful rosemary and brown sugar Earl of Grey latte. Like I said, I think this is perfect for rainy days, cold days that you might feel like you need a little bit more comfort. So keep this in your arsenal if that's not today for you. If it is today, go ahead, give it a try. Be sure to let us know if you have any questions or run into any issues with making this recipe. We'd love to help clarify those for you. It was wonderful to get to spend some time with you today. I hope you all are well and healthy, and we send our love from the Tea Spot. Thanks so much for tuning in, and see you next time. Bye-bye.